The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mvradio.
Welcome to Beyond the Headlines with hosts MJ, H Train, and Terri. Each week we put today's news into perspective. Join us on Facebook, X, YouTube, Roku, and Amazon Fire TV, or anywhere you get your podcast. MBR, giving veterans a voice.
Welcome back.
Welcome. Man, that was quick. We gotta fix that intro. I haven't even been able to get everything connected and stuff. How are you doing, Tracer?
I am good. How are you? It's Monday, right? It's another Manic Monday.
It is Monday, ladies and gentlemen, and not only do we have a fantastic show, we are visited by our newest master. I don't know if she's a master of it, is a master. She graduated. She went to New York. She went to college. Once again, congratulations for that. I barely finished, Hooked on Phonics. So that's a huge accomplishment to do, graduation in college and stuff. Oh, no, I'm proud of you. NBR is really proud of you, Trace.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate the shout out too on the different shows. That was really nice of you. And thanks for putting out the reels on that too. It was a long graduation. I appreciate the patience as they sat through it.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's words of wisdom, just so that you know, okay? If you're ever doing a speaking engagement or you're doing like a motivational, even Newt Rockme, okay? That whole speech he gave, hey, 7 minutes tops. Okay. All right. Nobody wants to listen to the babbling, 7 minutes tops. 7 minutes tops. I yell at my DJs and my hosts about that. People got pee, dude. People got pee, People got pee. But it's been a wild week. We had that remote Saturday, and let's put it this way. It was a good turnout for it being in July. And the reason why I say that is what's happening in Colorado in July. It's hot as shit. Okay. It's like 90 some degrees. All right. Mm-hmm. So when you're in Colorado, the smart thing to do is to go up to the mountains and camp, because it's somewhat like 75 degrees up there when it's that hot. All right. So that's what most people do. So, a lot of these poker runs, a lot of these car shows, a lot of these different nonprofits that they do these fundraisers and stuff, they have to understand that like July and August is the worst time to do any event here in Colorado. Really, any event in the whole United States, because what happens in August, the NFL can't even compete with these people. What happens in August? And you know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about Sturgis. Sturgis is coming up. It's huge. People will go to that before they go to a football game. So when you're a nonprofit or you're a business and you're planning on some kind of event or even a garage sale, try to avoid July in August, at least the middle of July and the middle of August. Try to avoid that, because nobody's going to join. It's too hot.
It is hot. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, just about anywhere you go, unless you're way up north, is it very cool in July or August. Those are the worst months to just hang outside. If you don't have to, that's not too much fun.
Now, everyone is probably wondering, man, you guys have been doing a couple shows here. Where's MJ? MJ is on vacation right now. She'll be back July 21st. So, don't worry. She's still here. We won't let her leave that easily.
Right. So, yep. So she'll be back next Monday.
She'll be back next Monday. And I can just imagine with everything that's going on, with the news and stuff. We were supposed to have a guest that was gonna chime in, that was gonna come out and bring some information on the political world. But I asked him for his email. He's seen it, haven't got it. So maybe he's doing his own show. I don't know. But a lot of things happening in the news.
Yeah.
Terry, Tracer, I'll let you go first. I already have my little session on as the White House turns.
Well, so everyone knows about the flooding in Texas. So they said so far is that 129 are confirmed dead, including 27 children, and 160 people are missing.
Yeah.
And there's over 6.5 inches of rain that fell in just 3 hours.
Yep.
One camp. So you know that if they're close to a stream, which most of these camps were, that's why they didn't have time to evacuate, because the flood waters rose so quickly. They really didn't have time to get people out. So the damage estimates so far are between 18 billion and 22 billion. And it's exacerbated, they say, by climate change and recent cuts in the National Weather Service. I don't know. That's just what they're saying.
Right.
Will say today in Texas, we had some really hard rain. So they stopped all the evacuation, all the search and rescue for additional people. But what they said too was that they're having to go back over the same area they've already searched once, because now that the floodwaters have receded, now things are being uncovered. So they're having to wait to go back to search those areas again after the rain. So we got it let up this afternoon, which was great. So they'll probably be back out tomorrow unless we get more rain. But it's been really very rainy and very.
That's not normal, is it? Because my one of my company commanders, he lives in Texas, and for the longest time, for a couple of years, they were talking about praying for rain. Hey, we haven't got rain. When I think of Texas, I think of very dry, very, very hot. Am I wrong?
It depends on where you are.
Okay.
So if you're out near Fort Bliss, dry, deserty looking, like,
yeah, that's where I'm. That's where I went in Texas, Fort Bliss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that area looks that way. When you're in DFW area or San Antonio, that looks a little different. The hill country where a lot of this flooding was looks different. Very plush and green in most of those areas. And the further you go east, the closer you are to Louisiana. So you've got more rain, more precipitation, more greenery. So it really depends on where you are in Texas as to what you're going to see. But typically speaking, our rainy season is like April, May, and then by June, July, we have nothing. And they're saying all the lake levels are down, and they're saying water conservation, and really giving us the spill about, you can only water so many days a week if you're this zip code or that zip code. So we don't have any of that currently. And I don't know how the lake levels are doing, but I haven't heard drought. So usually we hear drought about now, but I'm not hearing any drought talked right now.
Well, all that damn water, I wouldn't think you guys would.
Right. Yeah. It's unseasonably rainy at the moment. Yes, we've had more rain for July, in just I guess we're 14 days in, more rain than we probably would have all summer long.
Now, do you know anybody personally that's affected right now with this, with the whole flooding, with the whole crisis that's happening in Texas?
I don't know anybody personally that has a family member that may have been, not found yet, or that passed away in the floods. I haven't heard of anybody, that I know personally. I'm not thankful that anybody has to deal with this.
No. I know what you mean.
But at least the ones I know, I have not been affected, so I am thankful for that.
Got it. Okay.
But
Well, I was just
definitely not.
wondering. I was just wondering if there was any tips, like what our listeners and viewers, if they wanted to do something,
Well,
tips on what they could do to help with it.
Well, Kerr County has a donation link if you want to donate there to help with that. They've gotten quite a few donations. I know a lot of local businesses here, if you're in Texas,
Yeah.
are you can round up or donate through I was just at Albertsons yesterday, and Albertsons was like, "Do you want to donate to flooding?" And you could just choose your amount and then add it to your grocery bill, and then they would send it on. So there are ways to donate. Obviously, always the Red Cross always is a partner in all these emergencies. So they're always taking funds to help with flood victims and whatnot. But the county itself is taking donations too. So if anybody's interested in that,
I would donate to the
way.
county before I donated to FEMA or the American Red Cross. I'm just throwing it out there. I would definitely donate to the county before I donated to any of those places.
Yes, it's going directly to those agencies that are responding. Yeah,
Yes.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a post on Facebook too, which I'm sure is accurate, but they said Mexico, that firefighters from Mexico were in place before FEMA came on board to help. So that's interesting. They can come up from Mexico quicker than FEMA in Denton can get south. Not to say I'm not ragging on FEMA, because I worked as a link in FEMA when I had my military job.
No,
So
I'm ragging on
know,
FEMA. You're not. I'm ragging on
well, I
FEMA.
know they do good work because I worked with all the military response in FEMA. So I know the agency, and I know that they do the work they can, when they can, and how they can. I mean, they do have to be asked to come into an
How many
area.
years ago was that, Trace?
It was I retired from. Well, I didn't retire. I did retire, and then I got back in.
Okay.
So that was in 2017.
Okay, so it's been a
Yeah.
while.
It's been a little since I worked with them, but I still have a lot of friends that are partners in the FEMA Region
Oh,
6.
okay.
Yeah. And so I know, from a perspective of knowing how FEMA works, they actually have to be asked in. They can't just show up. They can't.
Okay.
They have to be asked in. So they ask the governor if they can come I mean, they're already here in the state, obviously, but they do have to
Right.
ask the governor if they can respond, and what assets he needs. And then those things are called in, and those things are spun up as quickly as can be. But there still is a process. You want immediate response, and that is the goal, is immediate response. But there are protocols in place, and they're there for a reason. And so sometimes it seems like a lengthy delay, and why are they not showing up, and what's
Well,
happening?
that's what I was getting ready to think, because I remember hearing nothing but horror stories with FEMA when it came to Hawaii. So that's the reason why I was asking. You're not tearing them down. I'm tearing them down because I know how much their CEO makes. And I tell you, look, I tell my dad this, I tell everybody, and I can't get upset. It drives me nuts, but I can't get upset. Usually when you go on Facebook and you do a little fundraiser, that happy birthday thing, usually 9 times out of 10, the person that's picking the nonprofit is just picking something because Facebook is picking it for them, and they're just doing it just to play the game. Okay, but if you really want to know the truth, guess what? Unless you're like a business person, their CEO makes more money than you a month, and I have a problem with that.
Yeah, I mean, if the CEOs are padded with their salaries, and
Oh
then
yeah, they are. Charity Navigator, Guide Star, Go. Look at the American Red Cross. Look at FEMA. I mean, I could just name.
well, FEMA is a government agency, so it's not quite the same. It's not a nonprofit, so those salaries I mean, they're approved through the finance committees and all that stuff. So, they don't just get to decide how much they make,
Right.
but charity organizations, they pretty much get to decide. So I think that's in a little bit different category, possibly.
Jose Flores joins us, Motivational Mindset, every Saturday. How are you, brother? How are you? We're I get to see some of my hosts and DJs tomorrow because I told them fill out an appointment so that we can create your web page. We finally got I shouldn't say we. I finally got my ass in the gear and learning this new setup, and It's difficult. It is. You thought WordPress was bad?
It is bad.
This is worse. I think this is worse. But our graphic designer, our web designer, Kenneth from Shift Graphics, his label is on our website. If you're looking for somebody to be trustworthy and loyal when it comes to a website, that's your person. Just saying that's definitely your person. He's helped me a lot. You know, I wrote him yesterday. I guess it was like 4 a.m. in Africa. I'm like, hey, this picture's showing up on the internet, but it's not showing up on my mobile phone. Okay, hold on. You know, and he helps me fix it, you know, wiping the slate away from his eyes and stuff. But yeah, he's done a great job. And it is that time for us to go on our break. Who are we going to listen to today? Are we going to listen to Die Tired? Brand new song that came out last Thursday, everybody.
Well, since you're giving it a shout out, I think we should.
Hell yeah, I like that. Oh, and check this out. Next Saturday, if you're in the Colorado area, we're going to have a little fishbowl. Drop in your business card. The winner of the business card gets to win a Die Tired. It's like a breakout jacket, like rain jacket. I don't know what you want to call it, wind jacket, but anyway.
Yeah, I would call it that.
Yeah. So hey, we're gonna go on commercial break. When we come back, we're gonna be hitting more of the news, and soon, as the White House turns, you're listening to Beyond the Headlines with Tracer and H.
Hey, so now I'm trying to find it because since they moved everything, now I don't know where it is. So I'm looking because now I can't move stuff around. I mean, they made it organized, but it's disorganized all at the same time.
Hey, StreamYard, quit changing shit.
Right? Tell us before you do this stuff.
Right?
Well,
we got.
Did you find it?
Well,
I don't think it's in here. So we can play another Die Tired song and then we can load it up.
All right, that works.
Because I don't think I see it unless I'm just missing it, scanning quickly. So
let's hit the need to feed.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen,
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
the web at mbradio.com.
And we're back. That was a good song. It is a good
Hell
song.
yeah, it was a good song.
Yeah, he said, let me put up his comment. He said, wow, great song, great vibe. It is. That's part of my intro for Tracer Rounds is the Need to Feed song. So yeah, I love it too.
I love that song. That song makes me wish that I had hair to where I could headbang.
Right?
Cornholes just doesn't wave, you know.
Not so much, yeah.
No, I'll grow the cornholes back, but you know, until then, it's just too hot for cornholes. I don't know how people do it, and plus, yeah, I can't really hardly stand hair on my head. You know, it's funny, Trace. When I got out of the military, there's two things that I wanted to do. I wanted to grow a beard, and I wanted to never again have to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Has that happened? Hell no. Everything hasn't happened. That's the reason why I can only grow like a ghost. Like if I have hair that invades this area right here, it's like, you know, itchy and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know how people do it. I really don't. But you know, it was a fantastic remote, and Bad Holly just posted she is challenging anybody that comes Saturday for a dance off. So now I've got to I gotta go over Stokely. I think what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to get one of Stokely's jerseys, have him sign it, and whoever wins the dance off will get the jersey signed by Brandon Stokely.
Oh,
I think
wow.
that's what I'm going to do.
That's an awesome gift.
Yeah, you know, dance off this Saturday. Okay, last time we did this, it was a guy that was going against her, and I yelled in the mic. I'm like, "Hey, look, Bad Holly don't twerk, and you got it." So the guy started twerking, and I'm like, "Oh, you got it, you win." And the Bad Holly's like, "That's cheating. You gave him the secret element." You know, so we have a bunch of keychains. So when you come to the tent Saturday, make sure you stop by. We have these keychains. We have the three soldiers with the woman in front. We have those, and then we have broadcast beaker on motorcycle keychain. You know, we do ask that, you know, come on, help a brother out. At least give us like $2 or $3 for it, you know, or something. But, you know, we're not going to come out and like force you to, hey, you know, donate. It should be like a free will donation kind of thing.
Right.
You know, tip your waiters, cheap butts, you know, kind of thing. So.
Well, did you say exactly where you're going to be, what the address is and all that?
You know, it's all on the Facebook page, but I can read it. It's going to be at the I can't pronounce it. It's going to be at the Stinger. It's Stenger soccer complex. The address is 11200 West 58th Avenue. It is in Arvada. It's this Saturday, July 19th, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And I tell you what, when we do this dance thing, if you want to be a part of this dance thing, let us know. We'll bring you in virtually, buddy. We'll bring you in virtually. And I don't know if you guys see the video and stuff, but you know, this is twice. No, Arvada. I love how people, you know, I'm on air. They can text the text line. No, they text my personal cell phone. You know, that works too. I'm not important. But yeah, the remote the second time off grid. I don't think people understand how difficult off grid is. Let me explain to you how difficult off grid. So we have a generator that runs off of propane. Okay. And I thought that I nicked this in the bud. I thought that I figured out. I guess not. So I'm sitting here pushing the button. It is not going. It's not going. I smell gas, but it's not going. So, I asked somebody a little bit taller than me. I'm like, hey, maybe they know something about generators. Nope, they're just like me. They don't know shit. I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna give it a go one more time before I swallow my pride and go over there and make an ass out of myself asking for help. And like right when I said that, bam, it starts working. It's a tough little burger, but I tell you what, one of those propane tanks, they last for a good 3-4 hours. So it's not a bad thing. And then I don't know if we like dropped internet or if there's a solar flare or what, but we like just completely lost it on internet Saturday for some odd reason. I think it was a generator. I'm not for sure, but hell, we completely lost it on Friday too. The internet's been kind of fishy here lately. We have Comcast, you might want to check that out. Huge shout out to Xfinity Comcast, Colorado. You should check that out. If we look bad, you look bad. There you go. So
Just saying.
Did you want to talk about what you want your headline, or did you want to go right into the as the White House turns?
As the White House turns, yeah, I already kind of talked about my topic, which was the Texas floods and the response and all that.
Yeah, that's the reason why I haven't like sent a bunch of posts like asking a donation. Hey, donate here, blah blah blah. Because I'm like, probably not the right time. Read the room kind of thing.
Right, you gotta read the room.
Yeah, you don't go to a funeral selling ice cream. Even though that would be a good idea, but you just don't do that. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, it is that segment, your favorites, as the White House turns.
The American people deserve to know the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth as it relates to this whole sordid Jeffrey Epstein matter. Democrats didn't put the Jeffrey Epstein thing into the public domain. This was a conspiracy that Donald Trump, Pam Bondi, and these MAGA extremists have been fanning the flames of for the last several years. And now the chickens are coming home to roost. What are you hiding? If you're not hiding anything, prove that to the American people. And if you are trying to hide something, as many of Donald Trump's MAGA supporters apparently believe, then the Congress should actually work hard to try to uncover the truth for the American people. There are only two things that are possible here. Option one, Donald Trump, Pam Bondi, and the MAGA extremists intentionally lied to the American people for years about the Jeffrey Epstein situation. That's option one. Option two is that, in fact, there's reason for the American people to be concerned as it relates to what information has not been released that could be damaging to the Trump administration and the friends and family of the Trump administration and their billionaire corrupt supporters. And so they're actively engaging in a cover-up. Option one, they lied for years. Option two, they're engaging in a cover-up. At this point, it seems reasonable that can only be one of the two things. And so it's Congress's responsibility in a bipartisan way to ask the questions and try to get answers on behalf of the American people. The American people deserve to know the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth as it relates to this whole sordid Jeffrey Epstein matter. Democrats didn't put the Jeffrey Epstein thing into the public.
All right, so now here's my take, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm gonna give my opinion and then what I have to say about this. Okay.
All right.
First of all, some people are into Christianity and the good book. I'm gonna say, Mr. Hakeem Jeffries, I have nothing against you personally, but as a political figure, I know that you have skeletons in your closet. I don't need to bring them up. You know exactly what they are. And yes, I'm talking to you. So if you're not Jeffrey, just don't worry about it. But this is just me talking, okay? Let me tell you, on today's episode of As the White House Turns Shadow Skeletons and Photoshop Filters, Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries throws political stones from a glass Photoshop house, calling out Trump over Epstein's secrets while quietly tiptoeing past his own dusty closet of college essays, vanity edits, and eyebrows-raising family ties. Google that shit. I kid you not. Google it, okay? Will the pot finally meet the kettle? Will the filters ever stop filtering? Stay tuned for another scandal-soaked saga of As the White House Turns, where everyone's guilty, but only some are getting in the good lighting. And this is the reason why I say this, okay? Look, I know a lot of Americans, we supported and we voted Donald Trump in, okay? Donald Trump, Biden, all of them, they all say nobody's above the law, but yet you guys keep getting a pass. In your own little way, you guys keep getting a pass. Okay? And that's fine. I get it. Political money rules. We all know the story. But don't sit there and point out somebody doing something wrong or not doing something when you haven't even took accountability over your shit that you did in the past, Mr. Hakeem Jeffries. You don't need to apologize. In fact, there was a woman, I forget what movie it was, but she said some kind of racial comment in the movie as a line, and she brought up, she was like, I apologize. I take full responsibility and full accountability for what is said, and it won't happen again. And I apologize if I offended anybody. She didn't say she was sorry. She said that she took full accountability. That was a picture perfect way for her to apologize. Because, when you say sorry, the only reason why you're saying sorry is because you got caught. Because you wouldn't be saying sorry if you didn't get caught. So, instead of saying sorry, you tell the truth, own up to that shit. People are going to respect you more if you say, you know what, I messed up, my bad. But for some reason, once we get past 30, we never want to take the blame. We never want to admit that we messed up in front of somebody else. We keep reflecting, or we keep doing some kind. Everybody does it in their lifetime. I don't know why, because even my father and mother did it. I don't know why, but it's just how it is. But, is Trump in the wrong? Yeah, he's in the wrong. I truly believe that, look, I supported the guy. I voted the guy. I've talked about his behalf. I've even told you, Tracer, how many times, hey, this guy's changed. This guy's changed. No, he hasn't changed. He hasn't changed. And it kind of irks me. It's your job. You shouldn't have teased it for as many months as your campaign. You need to release it. If the photos are graphic, hey, guess what? Put it on at 11 o'clock at night. You need to release what you have. Or you just need to resign as president. But, that's just my thing. I'm getting tired, Trace, when he comes on and he talks about all this the stuff that he's doing, all this good stuff that we've been doing, all this. It doesn't matter. What matters, it's not what you think is good, Trump. It matters what we think is good. It matters what we want. and you need to speak about this. This isn't going away.
Right.
It's not going away. And you know what? I don't want it to go away.
Well, they said there's a couple of reasons why he may not release it. And one says a key turning point in early July 2025, the Justice Department and the FBI issued a memo stating there's no incriminating client list connected to Jeffrey Epstein. And it said that further disclosure would be inappropriate to protect victims and sealed evidence. So that's one of the things. It says Pam Bondi had previously spoken of having a client list on her desk, but later clarified she was referring to a general Epstein files, not a implicated individuals, not a list of implicated individuals. So that's one thing. It says also that during his 2024 campaign, Trump pledged to declassify and release these lists, these files. He said on Lex Friedman podcast that he was inclined to do so and emphasized that he had no problem releasing the material while also stressing he was not personally implicated. But as president, his administration shifted limiting release to heavily redacted content and downplaying further disclosures. So that's one thing. And then it goes on to say something about backlash from Megabase, but it also lists potential personal conflict. It says critics suggest Trump's close past association with Epstein, as documented in flight logs and social interactions, may create a conflict of interest in releasing potentially damaging records.
Right. The reason why they don't want to release the list is because Jeffrey Epstein is the one that introduced Melody to Trump. I've watched the documentary. That's one of the reasons why he does it. It implicates his family. And that's what I mean. I mean, like I've read into it before I judge anybody, or before I tell anybody, hey, check your receipts, make sure your backyard's clean before you do it, because I mean, but that's the reason. And Trump and his administration, they caused this. They should have never brought it up. They should have never used it as a campaign tool. I mean, he told us for 4 years that he was going to build a wall around the United States and Mexico is going to buy it. Where's that wall? Okay. He's lied. I don't want to say that he's lied.
I think priorities shifted slightly. Like they're doing other things in place of those.
I want to say that Trump is very good at overreaching. How many times did he tell us?
Over promising, maybe.
Yes. Yeah. How many times did he tell us before he got into office, I'll stop the war one day? And then Putin came out today and he was like, look, you're not my president. What you say doesn't happen. He's like, I don't respond to Twitter shit. I don't respond to social media. He's
he actually responds when he says he doesn't, because he's looking at all that stuff.
Otherwise,
otherwise Russia wouldn't have had anything to do with our social media.
He's not typing it. He does a video. He's not typing it.
Right? No, he's not. He has other people for that. But what Trump says does hear, and it does impact him whether he admits it or not. He doesn't want to admit it does, but it does. Because if we help Ukraine and we're not for what Russia is doing, he knows he has no legs to stand on against NATO. So he knows that. So
I mean, and look, Trump, honestly, Trump is doing the same damn thing the Biden administration did. You're helping Ukraine. You didn't release the Epstein files. I mean, all this stuff you sling mud at Biden for doing. You're doing the absolutely same thing, Trump. You're doing absolutely the same thing. You're talking about how Biden's a shitty president. What are you doing any different? Yes, I'm mad. I'm mad because, and it's not because I regret voting for Trump. That's not what I'm mad about. What I'm mad about is that I feel he got into office and he's changing his ways, just like every politician. And that's why Trump was supposed to be different, because he wasn't a politician. He doesn't talk like a politician.
He definitely does not talk like a politician.
Right. You know? So that's the reason why I'm a little mad. And I've always talked up for him.
Yeah.
But not this time. And for Hakeem Jeffries, on your part, bud, don't join the bandwagon over something that just makes you look good because you're trying to get more positivity over the Democratic Party. I forget what his name is. He's the guy that went to the White House the inauguration in his shorts. He's a Democratic, but he's real. You know who I'm talking about?
No, right? I don't.
I'm pretty sure he's from Texas. He's one of your guys' senators.
I sure hope not.
The guy wore shorts. I forget what his name is. And
Did he wear cowboy boots too?
If somebody's listening or watching, let me know what his name is. I think his name's like Setaroff or something like that. But he doesn't. He talks like a politician, but he doesn't dress like a politician. He kind of reminds me of Trump. And the reason why I like him is because I like him because he goes right down the middle. Okay. Yeah. I hate people that sit there and they talk about how they're like political, like geniuses and stuff. And then they just badmouth one side or the other. They don't badmouth both of them. Let's be right in the middle. Let's call a pig what it is. Even if you put lipstick on that pig, it's still a pig.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I think we're over.
Break, huh?
Yeah, we do. So let's play Reel Me In because I wasn't able to load the other Die Tired yet, and we don't play that one very much, and it's pretty new too. So we'll play Die Tired, Reel Me In.
I love it. Love it.
I wonder
the station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.com.
And we're back on Beyond the Headlines, and I'm Terry, and that's H, and we're missing MJ, but she should be back next Monday, and we're looking forward to it. And
Hell yeah, we are.
I don't know if you saw the comment from Jose for you, but I'm going to show you.
Oh, thank you, Terry and Joel, for always supporting and taking care of us. Of course, you're my battle, man. All of us are battles. You know, it's
we're a team.
you know, when I was I'll just say this real quick. When I was talking to Bad Holly, she was talking about how that's one of the reasons why she liked working with me, is because she didn't feel like she was alone. Like, she told me fire in the hole, she was loading pictures. Instead of making her send me all the damn pictures in an email or whatever, it's not that hard. I just open Facebook, save them, bam, put them on MBR, you know? It's doing the initiative. It's you know, it's second guessing your battle buddy to help them out. If you know it needs to be done, you do it without being asked. You know,
Right.
I don't know how many times, you know, I didn't do a podcast because my dog died. I'm like, hey, thanks. Hey, I got you. Don't worry about it, you know. But that is how MBR is. That's how MBR should be. And that's how all the hosts are with all the hosts. You know, Z is a good example. You know, Z just came on. He's trying to get his footing in with everything, with time and all that stuff. He wants to be, you know, do the gaming thing.
Yeah.
He hasn't really been doing like a live show. Last week, we had a show. Like, everybody that Lucas had invited, like, they just flaked, you know, for whatever reason, they just flaked. Z showed up. Z's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And I'm like, that makes me too. I just worked.
We're going to figure it out together. We got this.
Exactly. And you know what? And I tell you what, and if bosses are listening, that's the number one thing. Never say you'll figure it out. Always say we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Always say we'll figure it out, because if you're putting all the pressure on that person, why should they do what? Yeah, get over yourself. We'll figure it out. But stopping that rant, I want to hear all about your trip to New York.
Well, it was pretty amazing. I didn't realize how many old buildings really were in New York. And so it's in Albany. So the college is Excelsior University, and they work a lot with military. So if anybody is looking for a good place to go, that will take a lot of their military credits and transfer them and put them into a format that gets them credit to graduate a little sooner. It's a good place.
A good time.
Right. That's a good place to have them evaluate your credits and see where you're at. I'm sure there's lots of other good colleges too, so I'm not discounting other options as well. But Excelsior is where I went to school. So I got my bachelor's from Excelsior and I got my master's from Excelsior. And so they had a graduation. So they have one once a year, and they have it every July. So in July, you can count on an Excelsior graduation. And the year I graduated, which was a long time ago, well, it was in the egg.
No.
It was in the egg. And so it's an egg-shaped building. It's the weirdest building. And it's right by the state capitol, because Albany is the state capital of New York.
Okay.
So this year it was in like a concert type venue, I guess I would say, a stadium venue versus being in the egg, because I think they were doing renovations. So this graduation was pretty impressive, but it was kind of long, as we mentioned, because they're graduating health science, nursing graduates, associates, bachelors, and masters, and then the liberal studies, business. They're graduating associates, bachelors, and masters. So the health sciences could have had their own graduation because there were so many people, which is a good thing because we need healthcare workers. So I was really glad to see that so many people were choosing that profession because we're really short on healthcare workers in general. They're overworked, underpaid, definitely understaffed. So having these people graduate and go out to the workforce is a good deal. It's a good thing.
I love the graduation. I just the speakers. It's so long.
Well, there were some of them, but there was a really good story with one of the valedictorian speakers for the class of 2025. She was really good. So that was really a bonus. But I mean, I think they all did a really good job and put out some really good information and really were motivating at the end of the day.
True. I just thought they were long. That's yeah. I just had some long speeches this week. Let me tell you. Whenever anybody asks me to speak, 5 minutes. That's because it's the first thing that I say every time I speak, which it has truth meaning. I know that you're here for the free lunch or the free dinner. You're not here to hear me talk. So let me just go ahead and do that so we can rub a dub. Thanks for the grub kind of thing. But did you get to go to White Castle?
No, there wasn't any close.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I did look. There wasn't any
Okay.
close. No. Yeah, no, but I was really surprised at the old buildings. I took several pictures because like the city hall is in a really old building. The state capitol is a really old looking building. They have this one building that's higher education. It's another college and it looks like a castle. It looks kind of like Hogwarts. If
So
you
was you
are
kinda
familiar with
stuck on
Hogwarts.
campus?
I'm sorry.
Was you kind of stuck on the campus? Like, was you able to go to like Times Square or any of these sites?
Oh, so it's not New York City, it's Albany.
Okay.
That's where it is. Yeah. And so the campus is quite a ways away from where the graduation was. So I was at a hotel and I didn't have transportation. So I walked everywhere I went.
I don't know anything about like the geography, like how far New York is from Albany. I didn't know. I just didn't know if it I didn't know if it was the same thing as skiing because like when we did ski competitions, like people were, oh, I bet you sites. No, we stayed on the ski thing. That is our point and place of duty. We didn't go anywhere, so I didn't know if it was kind of the same thing.
No, I could go anywhere I wanted to.
Okay.
But the campus is like over 20 minutes away with a car. And I didn't have a car. So I was walking to the graduation and walking to dinner and all the festivities that they had for us. So I got to see what I could walk to or what I felt like walking to. I guess I should say that. But it was nice. Yeah, the weather wasn't bad. It was pretty nice. So it was a good experience. Excelsior was very accommodating for all the graduates. They were down in the hallway where everyone was coming in, and they were yelling and screaming and clapping and just making the biggest ruckus you could possibly make to celebrate the graduates.
Oh, you should be glad that I didn't come to graduation. You would have heard me on the video. Let me tell you. Ask Jimmy Covers. Ask Jimmy. I'm obnoxious when my friends graduate. Don't invite me to your graduation if you don't want to be embarrassed. I'm just going to tell you that.
Yeah, note to self: don't invite H.
No, don't invite me. I'm telling you. Did you fly into I think it's LaGuardia or
LaGuardia?
Yeah.
No. So I flew on the way there. I flew into Reagan. In DC, and then we flew from Reagan to Albany.
Okay, all right, yeah. Okay,
and then a direct flight home, thankfully, so I didn't have to make a connection. Yeah,
I don't know how you was thinking about coming to Saturday, and I'm like, she ain't coming Saturday. That's too much traveling.
Well,
I hate traveling.
I was looking at the times and I think I could almost have made it, but the problem was we got delayed because of weather in Albany. And so I may not have made it even if I would have scheduled it because we were only delayed like an hour, but it kind of threw everything off a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. It's still an hour, especially being on the East Coast, going to the mountain time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. An hour really does make a difference. It really does. The I had somebody scheduled for us to interview today, but he didn't respond. So I apologize about that, Tracer. I honestly thought that I had the spunk yesterday. I'm like, I'm going to do this, and then reality kicked in like 3 hours. That mug's not going to come on here, because I had invited Senator John Candy
John
from
Cornyn.
John Court. I pronounced his last name wrong.
Yeah, it's well, what you wrote was Cornyn. So
Okay.
so Texas.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I was going to say if he comes on, I'll be surprised. So because I mean he's a big deal here in Texas. So if we got him on the show, that would be pretty impressive. I was going to say if he answers up, I was going to be like shocked.
Yeah.
Because
Well, and
his schedule's pretty busy.
it's probably good that he didn't come on because I don't think that's the person that I wanted to invite on. I wanted to invite the senator that
that was in the shorts.
Huh?
You wanted the one in the shorts.
No, I didn't want the one in the shorts. I should have reached out to him.
You should have.
You should have. Damn, that was a good idea. No, the guy that comes up and says, "Look, I'm not saying that the Biden administration is terrible, but they're definitely a couple of ham sandwiches away from the picnic basket." The guy that says that stuff, I think his name's John Kerry, and I think that I emailed the wrong person, which that's not surprising. That's not surprising. I've done that before.
It happens. It happens to the best of us. It's like, oh, I didn't mean to send that. Too late. It's gone. Okay, well, we'll just recover if we need to.
Oh man, I have so many stories about wrong window stories. Window stories. Make sure when you text somebody or email, especially if it's like nasty or dirty, make sure that it's the right person. Yeah. So, but other than that, I'm not going to go into that because I don't know if you want to go extended or if you want to stop at the top of the hour. I know that you have to be. Are you experience any jet lag?
No, I got this. No, we're good.
Oh, okay.
Maybe yesterday, well, I guess Saturday, but then I watched the twins. So, and their little sister. So, no chance for jet lag on Saturday.
How the hell do you do that? I watched a little kid that was maybe like 2 or 3, not even that. I watched CJ's kid when she was doing the morning show.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you guys do it. Like, I literally slept like 6 hours. That kid exhausted me. And he didn't do anything. He just sat there. But he exhausted me. Oh, my God.
Well, the twins are 2. And the little one is, let's see, how old is she? March, April, May, June, July. She's 5 months.
Now, when you're twins, how do they tell them apart? Is there like some kind of like special body clothing that they have on, or is one's nose bigger than the other? I mean, how do they tell them apart?
Well, really, the easiest way to tell them apart is to see them side by side. When they're not side by side, it's harder to tell them apart. When you see their faces, you know which one's which. And one of them does have a little birthmark on their hand. So it's easier to tell them apart.
Easier.
Yeah, that way too. But when they first were born, you couldn't really tell them apart. I mean, you could tell them apart really easily because one was bigger than the other one.
Right.
So there was complete and utter difference between the two because they called them baby A and B. And so baby A was a lot different than baby B. And so it was easy to tell. But now that they're both closer to the same size and they're both closer to the same weight and everything, it's harder to tell them apart as they're growing older. And so I really have to see both of them side by side to say who's who. If you see them in profile, good luck, because I'm not getting the right answer. Whenever I call them, I'll just have to call them both and hope one of them answers.
Oh, man. I just wondered how parents did that. I was just thinking that they put like, different clothes, like maybe twinsy clothes, but then put a name on. But that would really suck if you put the wrong name on the wrong baby, Call him Steve all day, and his name's Mike, kind of thing.
Right. Well, I've read stories where they've said that they put like a little tattoo on the bottom of the sole of the feet to tell them apart. So, like, there was a set of triplets that were identical triplets, and so they like put a dot, one dot for one girl, and the second dot for the other girl, and like three dots for the other one, and that's the way they told them apart because they were so identical. It was hard. So they looked at the bottom of their feet to determine who was who.
Hospitals do that on all.
No, the parents.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Yeah, the parents did that just so they would know who is who because, because twins, I had twin cousins too, and they would play jokes on people and they would go to class for one another. So, twins have a little bit of a pass when it comes to stuff. They can get away with stuff because they look like one another and they can do things for the other one. So if one doesn't want to do it, they say, "Hey, sit in for me." So not to say that all twins do that, but they do that sometimes.
I was just gonna say, I can just see it now. Here at Rose Medical Center, we'll tattoo your triplets. We'll tattoo them with a rose. Like a little emblem. I'm thinking, do they do that at hospitals when you talk about tattoo? Wouldn't that be something? Oh,
That would be a really bad idea if hospitals did that. That would be a bad idea.
Hell, they're doing that at the veterinarian. Like as soon as our dog died, and I think that's the thing that really hurt me. As soon as our dog died, they brought out this little contraption with a bunch of vases and a bunch of like paw prints and stuff. Like a store. Like, since you're deciding to do this, which model would you want? I'm like,
yeah, that's too soon. That's too soon. Don't do that.
I'm like, and my wife is all doing that, and I'm like, I'll get that shit off of Amazon.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so bad taste, Hey, look, I tell you what, when you come back for you don't have to decide now, call us or something, and when you come by and pick up the urn, then it'll be in there. But like right after your dog died, I mean, that's almost like right after your kid dies, the doctor comes up, hey, can we get your brain off of your son? We have a patient that needs a brain. You know what I mean? It's like, really, dude?
Yeah, no, that's too soon. That's insensitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
But
Yeah,
I'm finding that veterinarians are very insensitive anymore. Used to be a love passion for the job. Now it's not a love passion. Like now it's a money thing, Terry.
Well, I think it is, but I still think people have passion for it. So I think it depends on where you go.
I do too. I think it depends on the person.
Because I think there's some that really care and really are concerned with how people feel about their pets and how they're passing or whatever's going on with them, and they are very sensitive to that, because I really feel like there is that passion for the job and for caring for animals and caring for people at the same time, because when you're caring for the pets, you're actually caring for people too. You have to consider them and their needs along with the dogs. So I think there are those caring and compassionate, but it is a business at the end of the day. It is, and they have to make money in order to stay in business. So I get that too. When I had to put my horse down, there was a couple options available to me at that time, and one of them was cremation. That was the cheapest way for disposal, I guess, if you want to say it that way, for horses. And so I have a 50-pound velvet sack in my dining room of my horse. It's heavy and I don't know what to do with it.
I have an urn with
I have it.
I have an urn with Barrett's ashes in it, and Cass told me that it was heavy because it had been about 2 weeks, and Cass asked me, she's like, have you pick up the urn of Barrett? And I'm like, nope, I'm not ready.
Yeah.
I'm not ready, and I'm still not ready. It's in there, like I have been bored to death a couple of days this last week. Designing, doing stuff. Working on the website. I was so bored, Tracer. I decided to work on the website rather than look at Barrett's urn because I'm not ready for that, And
Yeah.
I mean, if you're watching this or you're listening, maybe you can give me some advice. Like, it's not, hey, how long should I wait until I date again? No, it's how long is too long to to see the urn, to see the ashes, to accept it because it's been about a week or so. Um, and I still haven't accepted it. I thought about that too today. I still haven't accepted it really.
Well, I mean, it's all in your timing. And there isn't a set timetable for grieving and for being sad or for not being ready to deal with what's next. I mean, and I think that's all in your own timing, and whatever feels right to you is what the right timing is, because if it's not right, it's just not right. And when it is right, you'll know it's right, and you'll be able to handle it and decide what's next and what you want to do. But until then, I mean, give yourself grace, give yourself time. Don't push trying to be over it or trying to be ready for it or any of those things, because that's completely your timing and on your schedule.
It's I think that's such the drastic part. So like when my mother died, I felt that I had no direction. Like I remember that day when we got done at the funeral home, right in front of the stone, and my dad looked at me and he was like, "All right, what do we do now?" And I'm like, "I have no clue.
Yeah.
I have no direction. I have no navigation." And when that time comes, when I lose my father, I'm sure that I'm still gonna have no direction and and question the path because I find myself I still question, you know, I know you have a reason and I know you have a plan. I just kind of wish you would share it with me, God,
Yeah.
because you know, two two animals within like 1-2 weeks apart dying. I mean, that's
That's
kind of hurt.
tough.
But but my battle buddy that I went to Iraq with, Sarp, you know he lost his mom 1 year, and then like that very next year, same time, same month, everything, he lost his dad.
Oh wow.
And I traveled to Iowa and went through like the funeral and stuff, and like he changed from who I knew to what he was like. He changed when he was from Iraq and we got back. Like I hadn't seen him for a couple years, but he had changed. He
Yeah.
had changed to like, you know, mentally. And I think it's where he was, Terry. I think it really was. I think it was where we was because like everybody that I deploy with, like, we're nice. We say happy birthday to each other, so like,
Yeah.
but we don't talk. It's actually awkward to talk. I don't know why, but it's awkward to talk, And when we went to that dinner last night with American military family, there was an old first sergeant. I don't have the name in front of me, but he was a great war hero, and it took him 55 years to get his Purple Heart because people don't talk after a tragic event happened.
Yeah, they'd rather kind of put it behind them and forget about
And
it and
since they
try not
don't,
to bring it back up.
right, and like I know things have happened, but I don't remember them. So I'm sitting here, asking, Grandpa, tell me about the old times. And like, Grandpa's not telling me shit. Nobody's telling me shit. People don't talk after it. And, and I asked ChatGPT this actually, and I'll go ahead and share that a little bit Just want to make sure that I'm not okay. Not too bad. All right. So I thought somebody was writing me an FU because I cited my opinion. That's why I don't like talking politics because, you can think what you want, but everybody has their thing about politics, and it's never going to be the same as the way you feel. It's
Right.
never going to be the same. This is what it says: delayed recognition. When these men and women do speak, even if it's decades later, it's powerful, it's healing, and it gives us a responsibility to listen, honor their stories, and make sure the next generation doesn't carry silence like a wound. But I have to understand that, this man waited 55 years for his Purple Heart. What kind of delay sends a message, intentional or not? That's what he went through. It wasn't fully recognized. So why speak if no one listened or no one recognizes? So, it's from what I gather, it's kind of like this. Nobody can read your mind. They don't know what you're going through. They don't know your disabilities. You don't have a hat that you put, blah, blah, blah. Okay. They have no idea. My squad knew that I went to the Paralympics, but like, there's some people that wasn't in my squad and wasn't in my company that just didn't give a flip about, anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not going to pay attention to the journey. They're not going to pay attention to the journey. All they know is, oh, well, he got out. Well, when he got out, he was perfectly fine, and now he's blah blah blah. But they didn't pay attention to the journey.
Well, that's just it. Some wounds aren't visible
Yeah.
from combat. You never know. You never know what someone's going through, what they've been through, how far they've come to this point. You don't know that either. So maybe they saw you at one place and
Right.
now they're seeing you later and you're at a whole other place. But sometimes even when you're just getting out and they're like, oh, they look fine.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they look fine on the outside. Visually, they look fine, but on the inside, they're not so fine. So, all wounds aren't visible wounds.
And I think I finally recognize this month that we are the new Vietnam.
Yeah,
Iraq is the new Vietnam.
right.
And it's karma because everything that we all the applause that we got while the Vietnam veterans was still getting crapped on, they were working and helping us to get our benefits and stuff while everybody was still saying F you kind of thing. And now we're feeling the fact, and I'm not saying anything wrong for like first responders, but like right now, because of COVID, because of everything that has went on in the health scene, plus I think people are just tired of war. They're used to it. We're getting hit with mortars every night. Sooner or later, you get to a point where like, you know what? I'm not getting out of bed. I'm too tired. Screw it. If I get hit, I get hit. You get so tired that that's how you feel.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
And I that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do the event skydiving. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to involve the first responders. That
Yeah.
was because I felt they don't get enough recognition. I got a lot of recognition when I got back. A lot of us did. Okay.
Yeah.
But you're going to find that we're going to have to protect, and we're going to have to give recognition to these new newbies that are getting ready to go over, which I don't know if we'll ever do boots on ground again, because new technology, I honestly think this is a drone war now. I don't think we'll ever send troops over there ever again.
Yeah, I don't know. We were talking about that, I think a couple shows ago. We were talking about Project Maven and some of
Yeah.
those things where they're doing AI and they're doing drones and they're doing, robot dogs and maybe super soldier type things that are robots versus human. So you never know, because we can do aerials with planes that don't require anybody to be on the ground. We can do drones, which don't require anybody to be on the ground. They need to be in proximity to do the drones, I think. But yeah, I don't know. War may change in the future. I mean, it may look a lot different, and maybe for the better, obviously, because the only thing is we talked about too is the whole thinking thing. They can't reason. These robots, these AI things, they don't reason. They don't think like a human would think, and they could make a very bad decision, and there's nothing we can do about it once the decision's made. So that would be the downside of it, is they don't have the same ability to reason that humans have. So might be in peril because of that. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I think they should make it a rule. A president, if they want to go to war, they have to send one of their loved ones.
Well, it might change the whole dynamic, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a big follower of the royal family, but all of them had to serve.
Yeah.
So I mean, so that's interesting to me that that's their challenge, or their what the way they have to get to their royal place is by service in the military.
I'm pretty sure the United States is the only military in the world that doesn't force its citizens. Like, it's a volunteer army. Like,
Yeah.
I know in Germany, you have to do a minimum of 2 years. BTS, China, or wherever they came from, I forget what they came from, but like that's the reason why they have been away, is because they had to fulfill their 2 years, and they're musical artists. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure England's the same way. I'm pretty sure you have to serve at least 2 years in the military. I'll look that up.
Well, I don't know that all countries do, but Israel is one of those, and
Yeah.
how a lot of like that one actress, or they call them all actors now, I guess, so I should say actor, but Gil Gadot, she was a soldier, and she played in a lot of movies, Fast and Furious, and she played in what was that other one she recently played in? But she was a soldier, and I don't know that all countries have female soldiers either. That the males will be required to serve, but in a lot of cases the females aren't. But Israel is one where male and female both serve. I would be curious to see, though, that if there was that I don't think daughters of the royal family would serve, but I'm not sure. I don't know.
Well, I'm looking it up. So
I'm curious.
So England doesn't have a minimum. So these are the countries that have a minimum.
Okay.
Okay. So South Korea, male and female, have to serve 18 to 21 months, required due to North Korea threat. Israel, male and female, 24 to 32 months. Women can serve in combat roles.
Yeah.
Well, that's big of them. All right. Russia, male, 12 months, 18 to 27, recent expansions under Putin.
Yeah, they've been voluntold to serve, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ukraine, male, 12 to 18 months, expanded due to ongoing war.
Yeah.
Iran, male, 18 to 24 months, required before men can get passports or government job.
Oh
shit.
wow.
Turkey, male, 6 to 12 months, silver service alternatives exist. Okay, so that means that they can be like post office or something like that. Egypt, there's a lot. Greece, 9 to 12 months, required for Greek citizen aged 19 to 45. So you can't get your Greek citizenship until you serve at least 1 year. Egypt, male, 12 to 36 months. Length depends on education level. Interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah, stupid. So stupid people don't get killed. That's what that is. Singapore, male, 24 months. Strict conscription. I almost said constipation. Strict conscription for all males at 18. Singapore, male 24 months, strict conception for all males at 18. Brazil, 12 months. Switzerland, 245 days or 8 months.
Wow.
Finland,
Interesting.
5.5 years, or no, 5.5 to 11.5 months.
Okay.
Norway, 12 to 19 months. North Korea, and we're starting to get some of these countries that literally says, based on level, no stupid people. It literally says that, okay? Norway, 12 to 19 months. North Korea, 5 to 10 years. Interia, I'm sure that I'm pronouncing that wrong. Indefinite, often years. Criticized as forced labor. ERITREA. I've never seen that before. This is my Ukraine. I don't know what this country is. What is Eritrea?
Yeah, that's a good question. You said
ERITRE.
Oh, it's in East Africa. That's why.
It doesn't say East Africa.
Yeah, but it's a country in East Africa.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Well,
why we don't know it, because it's a smaller country. It's a smaller country in East Africa.
It says other notes. Some countries offer civilian alternatives like community or health services. A few, like Germany, France, used to do the mandatory service, but have since suspended it. Voluntary service is not. Voluntary service is the norm in Western democracies like the US, the UK, Canada, and Australia. So that's something that I learned today. Is I thought that the US was the only world that had volunteer military, but it looks like the majority of the West is like that.
Well, when you have people volunteering to serve, you don't need to do that. If no one would volunteer to serve, we would have to do that. So,
that's true.
I mean, because we turn people away all the time from military service for whatever reason. I mean, it could be medical, could be record, could be we're overstaffed, we're not hiring because of budget cuts. I mean, it could be a number of reasons. And so,
or because they can't find their baseball. Yeah, so that's interesting.
It is interesting. I never really looked into seeing who all requires military service. I knew there was a few that actually did require it. It was a requirement as a citizen of the country to do so. So it is interesting to see how many actually do require that now.
I think it would be a lot easier, a lot faster with drones. And I just, knock on wood, I just don't see our military being on boots on the ground anymore. I think if it's on ground, it's like a supporting effort where they're a million miles away from the place. But, they're flying drones. Who's to say that it's not going to be a drone battle? It's going to be literally, okay, we're going to teach you, soldier, how to work this controller just like a game. So all you people out there that are, perfect experts at Call of Duty, be ready. Your time is coming. So. I totally do think that drones are going to take over boots on ground. I really do.
I mean, would that be the best case scenario where we're not, putting our soldiers and sailors and airmen at risk? Yeah, of course, that would be better.
I honestly think so, because would we care if we were at war if it was Trump and Putin playing Battleship? No.
Not so much.
But that's what we need to do. Maybe we can talk them into that. Hey,
right, just playing Battleship and saying, okay, well, my ship, we're over it.
Each other, make drama and stuff about Battleship. Right. You get your point across, nobody dies, But I know that's not going to happen.
Right.
So if you don't have anything else to cover, the only thing that I can say is there's a couple of movies that are hitting the box office soon. They had to ruin it. I don't I have to admit, like the preview is kind of funny in some spots, but I think it's going to be the same kind of plot like Hangover. Happy Gilmore 2 is coming to theaters, and I've been told Goonies 2, but I haven't really seen that. And then I guess we're starting over with a whole new Superman. Imagine that, you know.
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, I like the Batman movies and Superman movies and all of them, but
Well, they still gotta sell them toys, so you
yeah,
you
that's
gotta
true.
have this superhero so you can sell the toys. You can't sell them without a show.
That's true. That's true.
Marvel still has to make their money,
It works for Star Wars.
right? So they just bring them all back, and then they can sell their toys again.
Oh man.
It's a racket.
Okay, so before we leave, because I think it's probably that time.
It
Before
is.
we leave, what is your next goal, Tracer? Like, what is your what's your next goal for your professional life, and then what's your next goal for you for MBR? Like, what do you want to achieve on MBR now that you have a little bit more extra time now that school's kind of done? All right.
Mm-hmm.
Or like which way are you going? Which path are you going professional or do you have goals with MBR? Which way? And it it doesn't it doesn't matter either way. I just want to know, like, have you thought about what your next drive is going to be?
Well, so professionally, I'd like to teach adjunct and have a class of students teaching them some subject that I can teach. And I
Okay.
would like to be a mentor, and I'd like to be on the alumni committee for Excelsior so I could help guide and direct students in like just navigating their future and what avenues they might consider. So that would be a professional goal. And obviously, the degree was just to help people. That's really why I did it, not because I hope to have some illustrious, big position or something like that. It was really about self improvement and
Yeah.
self development for the for the most part.
Right.
And then with MBR, I'm really hoping to elevate our platform and really get our hosts out there on these other social sites where we're getting more recognition, where our hosts are really being challenged with new opportunities that might come their way to be on other shows, to be on other platforms. I really want that. I mean, and I really want MBR to be self-sustaining. I want to
Yeah.
be able to find funding that just keeps regenerating itself so that we can keep this platform going because I know we're making a difference. I know MBR is really and truthfully making a difference in the lives of a lot of people. And without it, I feel like there's going to be a big void and a big hole that somebody's going to have to fill. So I don't want us to go away because
Right.
I want us to be out there filling that void, because we engage people that don't necessarily get engagement anywhere else.
That's the
So
truth.
we reach
That's the truth.
people that in some cases are unreachable by other platforms because we can reach them in their homes where they are.
Yeah.
We can reach them wherever they reside because we're reaching people all over the place. And so, truthfully, I'd like to see our platform elevate, and I would like to see more people being engaged to do different things, to speak, because we have a lot of very excellent hosts that have very interesting stories and
Do.
excellent spokespeople or make excellent speakers or motivational speakers. Look at Jose that was just on here. He'd
Oh
be an
yeah.
excellent motivational speaker.
Oh
Hired
yeah.
for a TED Talk. Let's go.
Right.
I want some of our, I want all of our veterans on the podcasts that they do, and our music DJs. I'd really like to see them on other platforms and really
Yeah.
see them elevated where they should be, and doing good work on other sites as well. Not just MBR. I want MBR to have a voice, and then our hosts to have an additional platform to share their voice too.
You know, I totally agree with you. I love it. Well, I'm talking with a friend right now about possible donation of an RV for MBR, and if that happens, that would be huge. Not only what will happen with the RV is we will travel to different VA hospitals. We will travel to nonprofit events. And, believe it or not, it'll actually be a little bit easier having kind of like a mobile studio RV
Mobile
like
command
that.
center.
Huh?
A mobile command center.
There you go. Exactly.
We got the talk going on in here.
And hey, look, and the thing is we figured out how to do this shit off grid. So we could be doing a show driving right next to the highway with you, and you wouldn't even know it. And we're broadcasting it on like the Roku and stuff.
Yeah.
We have figured out how to do that. And I just I want nonprofits need us.
Yeah.
They do. And Holly even said that today. She was like, nonprofits need us, and eventually they're going to figure that out. Because you saw that we covered our own event on skydiving. Channel 9 and them, they didn't show up. They didn't have they had the videos and stuff. They didn't do that because breaking news came up. Well, you know what? This is breaking news too. These are breaking news that these veterans and these first responders, they took a step towards being resilient and getting out of that possible pathway of 22. That shit is breaking too. Yes. But you're not going to get with that with 9 or 31 News. You're not going to get with that. You're not.
No.
And that's why NBR is going to be different. So, I said it yesterday and I'll say it again. All nonprofits here in Colorado are really freaking lucky to have NBR in their back pocket because they know who they need to call for a DJ to get the story, stuff like that. But just remember, we take care of you. You got to take care of us.
Yeah, we want to be here to support you, but we can't if we're not getting donations either because we are a nonprofit and we operate solely on donations.
Yep.
And some deep pockets of some nice folks in NBR.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No matter what, this nonprofit runs off of $800 a month. And most of it is self-funded by all the hosts. Let that sink in, everybody that's watching this broadcast. Let that sink in.
Yeah.
We are paying for us to broadcast to help other nonprofits get the voice out because we're trying to help other veterans.
Yeah. The goal is helping veterans, however we get there. If it's with education, we're doing that. If it's with showing the different resources that are available to veterans, that way we're elevating voices for veteran artists, for veteran authors, so that they can get their books sold and so they can help people that way because some of them are donating back some of that profit to helping veteran organizations. So it's really the circle of life here, if you want to call it that, with these nonprofits. Yeah. We're supporting them. We're hoping they support us, and we're supporting those that have businesses because, with their support, with them being supported by our listeners, in turn, hopefully they'll give us some support too, because we're trying to share their message, whatever that is.
Well, Project Sanctuary and American Military Family, they really came in and, they supported,
They supported the remote.
They supported the event. They supported, help with the gas, help with propane, help with food and stuff. They helped with that, and we really appreciate that. So those are two organizations that really have helped, financially, and ML Gratitude, they've helped tremendously as well.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, every remote that we go on, I'll always make mistakes. We'll always make mistakes, but we don't make them the second time. We're getting really good.
Yeah.
We're getting really good at
a learning process.
Yeah.
Every time you do it, you learn something.
Yep. We're getting really good. We didn't go to college for it. We learned hard knocks.
We're resourceful. That's what it is. We're resourceful. We figure it out.
Yeah. So, But I guess we'll go ahead and end it. But I'm very proud of you, Tracer.
Thank you.
Congratulations, and now either tonight or tomorrow, now we get to set up that paper step to try to help these hosts with Reach Across America, and remind everybody that your show tomorrow, who's going to be your guest?
So tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, I have Alice Swan, and she is a writer for Headines magazine. And she's a military spouse also, and she has her kiddos that they're not even kiddos anymore. Why do I say that? Her adult children are in the military as well. So she's very versed in the military, being a spouse. She's worked as a family support rep. She's done all kinds of the military organizations. So she's very well versed in the military, and she's going to be very interesting to talk to. So I'm really curious to see how her perspective on the military life, being a spouse of an officer,
right,
in the military, active duty. So I'm really curious to hear how that goes, and then really curious about her writing with Headines magazine.
Maybe she'll write something on MBR.
I know.
Well, or even you.
Well, she is. She's writing a news article on me, which is focusing on MBR. So
okay, there you go. Awesome. I love it.
There's the connectivity. There's the connecting the dots. Let's connect the dots. So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to our conversation with her. That'll be great. And we also are going to have on my show here in the next month or so, we're going to have one of the fire chiefs from Denver come on that found us our first responders. He's coming on my show, and we're going to talk to him about his journey in the fire service, and then about what he does now, and then, just how people can support the first responder community as well. So we'll have him on. So looking forward to that conversation as well.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I told him last time when we talked that, we was planning on doing the skydiving next year as long as we had funds.
Right.
We were planning on doing this every year, and we'll keep on taking, nominations, something to get firefighters, police officers around here excited about,
right?
Because we know that they do a lot of work. I don't see them having a lot of fun.
Well, they do have fun. Firefighters are the biggest jokesters I think there are anywhere. Like, they have fun within reason and when they can, because obviously their job is very serious and they take it very seriously. They don't joke around there. But to break up the monotony of the day-to-day, the cycle of like, I need a break mentally, they're jokesters.
I can see that. That.
The firehouse, what happens in the firehouse stays in the firehouse. So that's what's coming up tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to that. And then I'll have a show that'll go over to Reach Across America on Wednesday. And Wednesday's show for Reach Across America will be Robert Toperick.
Nice.
And he is the one that wrote the ebook about Milton Olive, and about his, he was the first African-American in the Vietnam War to be awarded the Medal of Honor.
Awesome. I love it, Trace. I love it.
Yeah. So he's on there. That's a good story. I mean, it's sad, but it's a good story. So if you want to hear a replay of that, because that was an earlier show I had late last fall, it's going to go to Reach Across America at 3 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday. So.
I love it. All right, well, let's get out of here so you can feed the horses and get into dinner. So,
that's right, let's do it.
Everybody, thanks for watching. And remember, like we always say when we sign off, we're here for you, not for us. We're giving our veterans a voice. See everybody next Monday.
Yeah, with MJ.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.